Chapter 7. What does a principal need to know about discipline for students with disabilities? And Chapter 8. What does a principal need to know about accountability? By Kristen R. Herring, EDLE 5623, Developing Leaders, under Dr. Kimberly Wilkerson. The disciplinary procedures for students with disabilities include: all students, including SPED students, are required to follow the school rules, and policies are to be followed for discipline of all students, including those SPED students. For the SPED students, administrators must follow IDEA requirements for discipline, but administrators are able to remove a SPED student for up to 10 consecutive days for each rule broken without special ed services being offered and still be considered in compliance. Manifestation determination is that if a decision is made to change the setting of a SPED student's education, things that need to be done, you must conduct the manifestation determination within 10 days of the decision, must establish if the misbehavior is a result of the disability. If not related to the disability or school's failure, appropriate discipline may be taken. Alternative placement may not last longer than 45 days. Parents can request a due process hearing during that time. The hearing officer will decide placement while waiting for the hearing, and after the hearing officer makes the decision, the principal can appeal. Change of placement means that the environment changes for more than 10 consecutive days. Bateman and Bateman, 2014. Managing challenging behavior. PBIS, or positive behavioral interventions and support, have proven to reduce the infractions in schools. Functional behavior assessments, that's an FBA. If a student's behavior prevents the student or others from learning, an IEP team must meet together to discuss the need for a behavior intervention plan, called a BIP, discuss data collected, create a plan for creating or correcting the behavior, and then evaluate the outcomes of the plan. Behavioral intervention plans define the desired behavior, teach skills that are needed to behave appropriately, plan for decreasing behaviors with objectives, and the objectives should include the learner, conditions, target behavior, mastery, criteria, and reliability of the criteria. Some critical conditions include how students will learn skills, include how students will be given feedback, include how the students will master or what mastery will look like or not look like, inform the stakeholders, and work together. Plan for life when behavior is natural. The principles of restraint and conclusion. Principals ensure that the school faculty and staff receive professional development on how to assist students with de-escalation in order to prevent having to restrain a student. It's important to offer education in the least restrictive environment with positive behavior incentives and mental health services. Train the staff on de-escalation and confirm behavioral interventions lead to prevention and positive incentives. Hold functional behavioral assessments and create behavioral intervention plans. Train the staff to restrain students, but only to use that if necessary for the safety of the student or students. Create an emergency plan so that if something happens that's unpredictable, you're prepared. Discuss incidents where restraint and seclusion are needed and inform parents. Do not restrain or seclude or pull students to seclude them as a means of discipline. Bateman and Bateman, 2014. The dimensions of special education instruction. PACE involves teachers having to decide how quickly to present information and move on to new concepts based on students' ability to achieve. Intensity. Teachers have to be able to decide what SPED students are capable of doing without escalating and quitting. Relentless. This is persistent pursuit of student achievement, finding accommodations and modifications that work to assist with helping students succeed in reading, writing, and math. Structure. Teaching, checking for progress, and ability to retain information. Keep practicing. Reinforcement. Use positive consequences when behaviors are what is expected, and negative consequences when behaviors are undesired. Pupil-teacher ratio. Smaller class size needed due to supports needed for SPED students. May need additional supports, like paraprofessionals or service providers. Curriculum. SPED teachers need ability to choose curriculum in order to teach both standards and IEP goals. Monitoring. Special ed students in resource classes are required to participate in testing, and special ed teachers can feel slighted sometimes if they are not held responsible for their inability to pass. So it's important to make sure that students are held responsible. Administrators need to consider the effort of these teachers. Bateman and Bateman 2014. Student assessment and progress reporting. Ideally, special ed students would complete curriculum-based assessments. Parents should be kept informed of progress towards IEP goals and curriculum. Bateman and Bateman 2014. Supervising special education teachers. Administrators should provide sufficient planning time, and they should provide sufficient time to collaborate if they're co-teaching. Administrators should provide substitutes so that special ed teachers can have parent meetings during the school day. Administrators should attend IEP meetings to build rapport with all stakeholders. Administrators should allow special ed teachers to attend PD that teaches them curriculum that they can use. Bateman and Bateman 2014. Evaluating special education teachers. It's important to work as a team to create an evaluation system for SPED teachers. Educators have a part in teaching and have responsibilities, and that should be discussed, as well as the expected outcomes, the abilities and struggles of the students, and the special education teachers' participation in student achievement. Bateman and Bateman 2014. Professional Standards for Educational Leaders, PSEL. Standard 4, effective educational leaders act as agents of continuous improvement to promote each student's academic success and well-being. Administrators should ensure instructional practice that is intellectually challenging, authentic to student experiences, recognizing student strengths, and differentiated instruction. In Standard 6, we find that effective educational leaders develop the professional capacity and practice of school personnel to promote each student's academic success and well-being, develop teachers and staff members' professional knowledge, skills, and then foster continuous improvement of individual and collective instructional capacity, and deliver actionable feedback in instruction and other professional practice. Standard 7. Effective educational leaders foster a professional community of teachers and other professional staff to promote each student's academic success and well-being. Administrators should design and implement job embedded and other opportunities for professional learning collaboratively with faculty and staff. They should provide opportunities for collaborative examination of practice, collegial feedback, and collective learning, and encourage faculty-initiated improvement of programs and practices. Standard 10. Effective educational leaders act as agents of continuous improvement to promote each student's academic success and well-being. Engage others in an ongoing process of evidence-based inquiry, learning, strategic goal setting, planning, implementation, and evaluation for continuous school and classroom improvement.